What if the biggest animals you've ever seen weren't in zoos or wildlife documentaries, but were actually someone's pet? A dog heavier than a grown man. A rabbit longer than a golden retriever. A snail that lived secretly under a family's house for 15 years without anyone knowing. Every single one of these animals is real, certified, and documented with official records and photographs that left experts completely speechless. Stay with us, because what you're about to see will completely change how you think about the animal kingdom. Number 15. Rosie the Spider. Most people would scream and run. Rosie's owner pulled out a camera. This Goliath bird-eating tarantula reached a leg span of 28 centimeters and weighed 170 grams, making her the largest documented pet spider ever recorded. To put that into perspective, she was wider than most human faces. The Goliath bird-eating tarantula is native to the rainforests of South America and holds the title of the world's largest spider by both mass and body length. What makes this species truly unsettling is the combination of size and capability. Their fangs are large enough to break human skin. They fire irritating hairs from their abdomen that cause severe reactions to the skin and eyes. And when threatened, they produce a loud hissing sound audible from up to 15 feet away. A spider that hisses. Rosie was not just a record. She was proof that the natural world contains things most of us are simply not ready for. Number 14. Gary the Capybara. Most people hear the word rodent and picture something small and unwelcome. Gary had no interest in that image. Tipping the scales at around 120 pounds and standing nearly 2 feet tall, Gary the Capybara is the largest rodent in the world, and he lives in a house in Buda, Texas, like he owns the place. His owner Melanie fell in love with capybaras during a trip to Venezuela and later adopted Gary from an owner who could no longer care for him. The family built a dedicated pool in their garden so Gary could swim freely just as capybaras do in the wild. He sleeps in the bed, sits on the sofa during family movie nights, and goes on car trips. He comes when called, shakes hands, stands on his hind legs, and learns new tricks faster than most dogs. Melanie even brings him to local schools to educate children about his species. A 120-pound rodent that the entire neighborhood loves. Now that is a pet story worth telling. Number 13. Blossom the cow. Most cows blend into the background of a farm without much attention. Blossom refused to blend in anywhere. Standing at 190 centimeters tall, this Holstein Friesian cow was officially certified by Guinness World Records in 2014 as the tallest cow ever recorded on the planet, taller than the vast majority of professional basketball players. What made her story even more remarkable was that neither of her parents were unusually large. She simply never stopped growing. Her owner Patty had raised her since she was just 8 weeks old on a farm in Orangeville, Illinois. Because Blossom could not produce milk or reproduce, most farmers would have sent her to market without a second thought. Patty chose differently. Blossom became a family pet, a local celebrity, and the official greeter of Patty's home business. Tourists drove hundreds of kilometers just to stand next to her and take a photograph. Her owner described her temperament as completely unaffected by all the attention. As long as she had her oats and her daily ear scratches, life was perfect. Blossom passed away in May 2015 at the age of 13. Guinness then upgraded her title from tallest living cow to the tallest cow ever recorded, a record that still stands today. Number 12. Bandit the raccoon. When most people picture a raccoon, they think of a small masked creature rummaging through trash cans at night. Bandit was something else entirely. Born and raised in Palmer, Pennsylvania, this raccoon was never intentionally overfed. His extraordinary size was the result of a thyroid condition he was born with. His body simply could not stop growing. By 1999, he had reached 52.5 pounds, earning him an official spot in the Guinness World Records. But he kept going. 54 pounds, then 64, then pushing past 70. What made Bandit truly unforgettable was his personality. He became a regular at a local ice cream shop where he would hold a cup of blue raspberry slush with his tiny paws and drink it through a straw. He appeared on the Food Network and was featured on a British radio program. He was not just a fat raccoon. He was a certified celebrity. Bandit was eventually euthanized in May 2004 after his weight reached nearly 75 pounds and early signs of cancer were discovered. He was 10 years old. A bittersweet ending to one of the most unique animal stories ever documented. Number 11, Chef the Rabbit. In the world of record-breaking rabbits, one name had stood untouchable for years. Darius, the longest rabbit ever recorded, measuring 4 feet and 4 inches and weighing 22 kilograms. But nobody warned Darius that his biggest rival was sleeping under the same roof. His own son Jeff, at just 1 year old and with 6 months of growing still ahead of him, was already 3 feet and 8 inches long and closing the gap fast. Both rabbits belonged to the same owner, Annette Edwards, who had built what could only be described as a rabbit dynasty. Her secret? Around 2,000 carrots and 700 apples every single year, alongside specialist rabbit food daily and a full bale of hay every week. She spends approximately 5,000 pounds annually just to keep them fed and cared for. Each rabbit sleeps in a dog crate built for a German shepherd. A father and son world record showdown, built 1 carrot at a time. Number 10, Hulk the Pit Bull. Most people think they know how big a pit bull can get. Hulk will change that permanently. Weighing 79 kilograms of solid muscle, Hulk lives with his owner Marlon Greenan of Dark Dynasty K9S in New Hampshire. When videos of Hulk standing next to full-grown adults went viral in 2015, the world simply could not believe what it was seeing. But here is what surprises everyone. Hulk's breeding rights alone have earned his owner over $500,000. A single litter commands $30,000. In 2017, Hulk fathered 8 puppies that sold for $50,000 each, 1 litter worth $400,000. He eats 4 kilograms of ground beef every single day on top of protein supplements just to maintain that extraordinary size. And despite his intimidating appearance, Hulk has never shown a single moment of aggression toward any human. 79 kilograms of pure muscle with the heart of a puppy. Sometimes the biggest ones really are the gentlest of all. Number 9, Arcturus the cat. Most cats in your neighborhood struggle to reach the kitchen counter without jumping. Arcturus did not have that problem. Standing 48 centimeters tall at the shoulder, this remarkable feline was certified by Guinness World Records in 2016 as the tallest domestic cat ever recorded. He lived in Southfield, Michigan alongside his brother Cygnus, who held his own Guinness record for the longest tail on a domestic cat. 2 world record holders under the same roof. Arcturus was an F2 savanna cat, a cross between an African serval and a domestic cat, and everything about him reflected that wild ancestry. He weighed 14 kilograms, consumed 500 grams of raw meat daily, and could leap 2 meters straight into the air. Neighbors watched in pure disbelief as he walked through the neighborhood on a harness, with children genuinely convinced they were looking at a small leopard. This story ends in heartbreak. In 2017, a house fire tragically took the lives of both Arcturus and Cygnus, along with every other animal the family had. 2 world records and an entire family of beloved pets gone in one devastating night. Number 8, Jupiter the lion. Most lions spend their lives ruling wild territories the size of small cities. Jupiter spent his early years performing tricks in a traveling circus in Cali, Colombia. His mother, also rescued from a circus, died during childbirth, leaving Jupiter as a helpless cub with nowhere to go. That is when Ana Julia Torres, a schoolteacher, stepped in. She founded the Villa Lina Animal Shelter and raised Jupiter from a cub into a magnificent lion who would eventually weigh close to 300 kilograms. For 19 years, the two shared an extraordinary bond that became one of the most documented human-animal relationships in South American history. In 2017, authorities attempted to separate them, threatening the lives of several animals at the refuge including Jupiter himself. Over 35,000 people signed a petition to stop it. And the public outcry saved him. The most heartbreaking chapter came when Jupiter was eventually transferred away from Ana Julia's care. When she finally managed to visit him, the lion who had once weighed nearly 300 kilograms had dropped to just 90. Not brought down by any predator. Brought down by the absence of the one person he trusted. Some bonds simply cannot be broken. Number 7, the Siberian ghost. Deep in the frozen forests of Russia's Primorsky Nature Reserve, something extraordinary was living in the shadows. In 2017, a team of Russian biologists captured and weighed a wild male Siberian tiger that registered 285 kilograms, the heaviest tiger recorded in the modern wild. This was not a zoo animal. This was a living apex predator in full command of his territory. Camera traps documented him hunting and killing a 200-kilogram adult brown bear. An animal most predators would never attempt to challenge in just 20 minutes. He had been tracked for 3 years via GPS collar after attacking cattle near a local farm, and his home territory stretched across 800 square kilometers. Not a single rival tiger ever dared to enter it. Genetic analysis later revealed something even more fascinating. This tiger was a direct descendant of animals preserved through a Soviet-era conservation program dating back to the 1950s. A living piece of history, built like a tank and ruling his world without competition. Number 6, Jumbo Bear. Most people come home to a dog or a cat. One family in rural Montana came home to a 400-kilogram American black bear living in their backyard. Jumbo was not a typical black bear. At his maximum weight, he was double the size of an average adult black bear, rescued as an orphan cub by a retired wildlife veterinarian after poachers killed his mother. Living with Jumbo was never predictable. He figured out how to open the refrigerator entirely on his own and quietly helped himself to 20 kilograms of meat one night before anyone noticed. The family had no choice but to install heavy-duty locks on every food storage unit. Neighbors regularly spotted him at the nearby lake, standing waist-deep in the water catching trout with a technique that would put most experienced fishermen to shame. He also had a soft spot for the family dogs, playing with them in the yard like old friends. In 1997, wildlife authorities relocated him to a specialized animal sanctuary where he lived comfortably until 2009. 18 years old, and never once caused harm to a single person. Number 5, Big Jake the Horse. Let us talk about the horse that made every stable look like a dollhouse. Big Jake was the tallest horse ever recorded in history, standing 210 centimeters tall and weighing 1,133 kilograms. His owner Jerry Gilbert needed a ladder simply for routine grooming. Big Jake lived at Smoky Hollow Farm in Wisconsin, where Jerry raised him from a 9-day-old foal. By 2010, Guinness World Records made it official. This was the largest horse on Earth. He consumed an entire bale of hay every single day on top of 20 kilograms of concentrated feed. He grew so rapidly that his barn had to be rebuilt 3 separate times just to keep up with him. In 2013, he attended a charity event in Chicago where over 5,000 people stood in line for hours, not to ride him, just to stand next to him and take a photograph. Big Jake passed away in June 2021 at the age of 20. A giant in every sense of the word. Number 4, Zeus the Great Dane. Imagine opening your front door and looking directly into your dog's eyes, not down at him, but straight across. That was everyday life for the Dorlag family of Otsego, Michigan. Zeus was the tallest dog ever recorded, standing 111 centimeters at the shoulder and stretching to 230 centimeters when standing on his hind legs. Guinness World Records made it official in 2011. Living with Zeus was like sharing a home with a very friendly, very hungry horse. He ate 14 kilograms of food every single day, costing his family over $200 a week just in meals. Normal water bowls were useless. Zeus drank directly from the bathroom sink because nothing else was large enough. He weighed 70 kilograms and slept on a king-sized sofa the family purchased specifically for him. He never needed to jump to steal food from the dining table. He simply walked over and helped himself. In 2012, he visited a children's hospital where his massive yet incredibly gentle presence brought genuine joy to terminally ill children in ways that words cannot fully capture. Zeus passed away in 2014 at just 5 years old, a heartbreaking reality that far too many giant breeds face. Number 3, Hercules the Liger. A lion is terrifying. A tiger is terrifying. Now combine both into a single animal and consider what you are looking at. Hercules is a liger, the hybrid offspring of a male lion and a tigress. At 418 kilograms and over 3 meters in length, he is officially the largest living cat on the planet. Not the largest lion. Not the largest tiger. The largest cat of any kind anywhere on Earth. Hercules was the unplanned result of two large cats living in close quarters at the Institute of Greatly Endangered and Rare Species, born in November 2002 alongside three brothers. But from the very beginning, it was clear that Hercules was different. His most recent Guinness certification in 2014 confirmed him at 418 kilograms. His daily diet consists of 20 pounds of beef or chicken, which he burns off with 50-mile-per-hour sprints and long-distance swimming. An unusual trait given that lions typically avoid water entirely. Standing 12 feet tall on his hind legs, Hercules outweighs the average African male lion by more than double. He lives at Myrtle Beach Safari in South Carolina under the care of Dr. Bugvan Antle. And despite his size, he has never once shown aggression toward any human. Nature truly has no limits. Number 2. Shrek the Giant Snail. We saved the most unexpected entry for last. While every other record breaker on this list announced itself loudly, this one spent over a decade in complete silence, hiding under a house in Sussex, England, without a single person knowing it was there. In 2021, Donna Shaw began hearing strange noises coming from her cellar. What she found when she went to investigate stopped her completely. A giant African snail measuring 30 centimeters in shell length and weighing 900 grams was quietly living beneath her home. A visit to the veterinarian estimated the snail, now named Shrek, to be approximately 15 years old. This creature had been surviving undetected for most of its life, just a few feet below a family going about their daily routine. Shrek quickly became an internet sensation. Videos of him eating lettuce, cucumber, and pumpkin accumulated over 20 million views on TikTok. His slime trails were so large that Donna needed a mop to clean up after him every single day. He now lives in a 100-liter terrarium, finally getting the space he always deserved. The most unexpected record on this entire list, and the perfect reminder that nature does not always announce itself. Sometimes it just quietly waits beneath your house until you are ready to be amazed. Number 1. The Alaskan Giant Wolf. Alaska is already one of the most untamed places on Earth. But even by Alaskan standards, what trappers Morgan Evans and Bob Stanley pulled from their trapline in December 2024 stopped everyone in their tracks. A photograph of an enormous black wolf hanging from a scale reading 152 pounds circulated instantly across the internet, and the world stopped to stare. After accounting for the weight of the sled beneath it, the wolf officially registered 149.6 pounds on a certified scale, making it one of the heaviest wolves ever recorded in modern Alaska. For context, the average adult male wolf in Alaska weighs between 100 and 110 pounds. The man who certified the weight told Evans that the heaviest wolf he had personally encountered in his entire career topped out in the 130 to 140 pound range. This wolf existed in a category of its own. The largest wolf ever officially recorded in history was caught in Alaska in 1939 by hunter Frank Glazer, weighing 79.4 kilograms and stretching over 2 meters from nose to tail. Two wolves. Two eras. Both from the same frozen wilderness. Some places simply produce giants the rest of the world can barely believe. And that wraps up our list of the most extraordinary record-breaking animals ever documented. From a horse too tall for any stable, to a snail living secretly beneath a family home for 15 years, nature never runs out of ways to leave us speechless. Which animal surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below, and subscribe so you never miss what we find next.